I think this part of the garden is going to survive. This is gone. I'm just trying.
We asked Ted Morton to choose the location for the interview, someplace where he likes to spend his free time.
Yeah, if I don't get outside for a couple days, I'm not very happy.
With Ted, we knew it would be in the outdoors, but didn't expect his backyard. Turns out the Tory leadership candidate has a green thumb.
I just find it aesthetically pleasing. I like the colors. I like to see the progress over. You start off with little plants and seeds, and you see it. I guess there's a sense of project, but basically I just like the beauty of it, I think.
Today he's cleaning up from a recent storm, and when Cooley the dog got spooked by thunder and dug up the garden.
Cleaning up after the dog and after hailstorms is not the high point of gardening. Kind of keeps you in sync with the seasons. I'm also, I love winter as well. You know, I like to ski, and both cross country and downhill. I like the fall, of course, for the hunting season. Yeah. I probably like most Albertans, spring isn't my favorite. Do we get spring? I don't remember having spring this year.
Maybe that's because Morton was very busy changing jobs, stepping down as treasurer, unwilling to deliver a budget with billions in deficit spending.
It got to the point where he had some hard decisions to make, and I had some hard decisions to make. He made his, I made mine. We respect each other's decisions.
Besides, the Premier had announced 2 days earlier he was going to resign.
When I look back, I think it was maybe a bit presumptuous to think that I could have and should have run in 2006. But with the experience I've had as Minister for the last 4 years at Sustainable Resources and now Minister of Finance, when the Premier indicated that he would not run again in January, it was a fairly easy decision for me to make that I'd put my hat in the ring again. Today, I'm on the north bank of the Bow River between Calgary and Cochrane.
This is a different Ted Morton than in 2006. His policies aren't as divisive. He now has what he calls a more realistic understanding of political battles he can win, adding politics is the art of the doable.
I think I've learned a lot more in the last 4 years about teamwork, and particularly teamwork in cabinet committees. So I think the experience has been good.
It's like an old dog that digs up the garden. There's no point trying to discipline her.
Cooley's a senior citizen. She's 12, so if she'd done when she used to do this, she'd get punished. Now we just sort of accept it. It's the way she is.
So we dig in to find Morton's softer side, like the last book he read.
That's almost an embarrassing question, since with the leadership running as long as I have, it's not exactly conducive to book reading. But I think the last book I read was one of the Churchill biographies over Christmas and New Year's.
Men will still say, this was their finest hour.
Would World War II, would the Nazis and Hitler have been defeated without Churchill? That's a very interesting question, and the answer is not obvious.
By so many, to so few.
He had lots of ups and downs in his career, so I think one of the lessons is if you're going to, politics is a bit like sports. You get in it to win, but you better be prepared to lose a few games or lose a few rounds as well, but you don't give up.
I have received.
Oh golly, last movie. Again, with leadership, I haven't exactly been hanging out at the movies. Probably again I think it was The King's Speech. I sound like a real Anglophile. I'm not.
He doesn't even own an iPod and will borrow his wife's when he needs some tunes.
I'm pretty dated in my music. If I'm just in the car by myself, I tend to listen to the 60s channels. I still like most of the rock and roll from the 60s and 70s. My first jobs were so terrible that I've sort of suppressed the memory, but basically they were working in a car wash and drying the car off as it came out. This was back again in the 60s, and then also running a dishwasher at Howard Johnson's. Through high school and university, I mainly worked oil patch jobs. The good side of that was they paid a lot better and you were outside, which I liked. The bad news was I think I got hurt almost every summer I worked.
Sounds a bit like politics.
Cleaning up after the dog that's digging up the garden.
With politics editor Chris Varco and files from Tony Seskis, Rick Donkers, CalgaryHerald.com.